Trade dispute is any dispute between an employer and his workmen which is connected with the employment or the non-employment or the term of the employment or the condition of work of such workmen. So, trade dispute is dispute, disagreement, dissatisfaction, misunderstanding between employer and employees regarding employment or non-employment. The term non-employment is not defined in the Industrial Relations Act, but it is the negative form of employment. It can occur in the various forms such as dismissal, termination, layoff, and suspension of an employee by his or her employer. It has a few procedures of dispute resolution between employer and unionized employees. Dispute resolution or dispute settlement is the process of resolving dispute between parties. The term dispute resolution is sometimes used interchangeably with conflict resolution, although conflicts are generally more deep-rooted and linked than dispute. Dispute resolution technique assists the resolution or antagonize between parties.
Okay, first we go to the first method. The first method is conciliation. So, what is conciliation? Conciliation is the method of getting a trade dispute resolved with the intervention of a neutral third party. Conciliation also means the two parties involved becoming tried to bring together to resolve the problems that occurred between the employers and employees. This means that the third party is involved between the trade dispute, which is the employers and employees, and the third party is a neutral party, which not a side for both parties, the employers and employees. It is neutral. So we go to the process of conciliation. The process of conciliation is the first one is it can be voluntary or compulsory. So this means that the conciliation may be volunteered by the neutral parties to resolve the problems, or must or be compulsory. This means that the problems is important to be resolved immediately to protect both parties, the employers and employees. So the second process is the parties are encouraged to resolve the problems. This means that the third party may encourage both parties to resolve the dispute, which to neutralize the relation. The third process is it is up to the parties concerned to reach the agreement. This means that the parties will reach an agreement which is conciliated by the third neutral parties. The fourth process is the conciliator may arrange the meeting or advise the parties because he has no authority to insist that the parties accept any particular recommendation. This means that the third neutral parties is just arrange a meeting or advise only the both of the parties to resolve the problem. It has no authority to insist the parties to accept any particular recommendation. Okay, next we go to the situations that require conciliation. So, if a trade dispute has not been fixed, each party that having the dispute must refer it to the Director General of Industrial Relations for conciliation. The DGIR may also refer to conciliation a trade dispute if, in his view, the dispute cannot be resolved. It is contained in Section 8 of Industrial Relations Act. So next is we go to the practice of conciliation. The conciliation is carried out either separately or jointly by industrial relations officers who will meet the parties. This means that the third parties or the neutral parties which is the industrial relation officers may meet both sides together or meet both sides separately. Okay, next is the conciliator function is to give, the first one is give clarification to the on the problem. This means that the conciliator may state what is the problem of the both parties, identify it, and the second one is help the parties to find a solution that is acceptable to both sides. This means that they may suggest a solution to resolve the dispute to both parties. The third function of conciliator is give advice. As mentioned before, the conciliator may advise both parties about the solution, about the dispute happened, and try to resolve it. The fourth function of conciliator is he has no powers to demand that any group of parties follow any advice. So this means that the conciliator, which is the third party or the neutral party, has no authority, no powers to demand any group or any parties, both parties, to follow what is instructed by him. This means that he has no power, and he can suggest, but it may be followed or unfollowed by both parties.
The second method, that is fact finding. This applies to investigation and inquiries undertaken by government, authorities, or any matter related to or applicable to the dispute. So basically, fact finding involves investigation by the government authorities to solve the dispute between the employer and his workman. So the government authorities that are involved in this fact finding is agencies. Both agencies are Board of Inquiry and Committee of Investigation. Both are appointed by the Ministry of Human Affairs. So for the first one, we go to the Committee of Investigation. Committee of Investigation can be formed of one or more individuals named by the Minister. So it can be formed by one or more than one. So the second point is it shall have authority over any trade dispute to which it refers. So Committee of Investigation have the power and authority over any dispute that they are involved to investigate. They cannot be stopped or judged by any individuals. The third one is it shall have the right to examine the causes and circumstances of the conflict. So basically this is same as the second point. It has the power and the authority to examine the causes and the circumstances of the conflict. The fourth one is reporting to the minister as soon as possible as required. The Committee of Investigation is responsible to report the conflict that have been found to the minister as soon as possible, because the sooner the report is reported, the better it will be. The second one, we go to the Board of Inquiry. The Board of Inquiry is the same as the Committee of Investigation, which consists of one or more individuals appointed by a minister. The Board of Inquiry also have the jurisdiction over any trade dispute referred to it for its finding of facts. So it has the power and the authority of jurisdiction over any dispute that have been discovered by the Board of Inquiry. So it has been stated that the Board of Inquiry has more power than the committee. So the first power is the power to inquire into the dispute referred to it. Second one is the power to summon witnesses to give evidence on oath or affirmation. So the Board of Inquiry has the power to call the witnesses to provide evidence to solve the dispute that has been found between the employer and his workman. The third one is that the discretion to sit in private or public. Basically, Board of Inquiry has the freedom to choose whether they want to sit in private or public. The fourth one is the discretion to make interim report that must be laid down before the Dewan Rakyat as soon as possible. So next, we go to the both Board of Inquiry and the Committee of Investigation. So in this report, the board cannot provide any details of a confidentiality conducted by its inquiry regarding a trade union, company or association without its consent. So it is stated that the board cannot provide any specific details or confidential details of inquiry regarding a trade union or company or association without their consent, without the trade union, company or association consent. So the second one is both agencies are not the bodies which resolve the disputes they have referred to. Both agencies are not the bodies. So the third one is the Act requires that they investigate or inquire into the causes and circumstances of the dispute, but they can permit or not permit an individual to be represented by someone else in their proceedings before a board or committee. The Act stated that the agencies have the power only to investigate or inquire into the causes and circumstances of the dispute. The Act also stated that they can permit or not permit an individual to be represented by someone else in their proceedings to solve the dispute before a board or committee.
Arbitration is the third procedure of dispute resolution between employer and unionized employees. Arbitration is a process of settling a dispute by which the two parties involved request a third party or are allowed by law to use a third party to rule on it. Arbitration is a one method where the two parties was request the third party, where is the third party was use a law to solve a problem and make a solution. Arbitration also where an impartial third party has the authority to settle the dispute by reviewing the information provided by the two parties and making judgment. Industrial Relations Act 1967 identified only one dispute resolution arbitration agency, which is Industrial Court. The agency involved is Industrial Court because the party cannot solve a problem between them. They can bring or challenge the case to the Industrial Court, so the court can make a decision for them. The most famous case is employees not satisfied why he or she was dismissed and about wages. For example, is we can refer the case intra-quarter consolidate Berhad versus MUHAMAD RUSLAN and NOOR. That the employee will dismiss his employees without clear of notice.
So for the last method or procedure in the settlement of the dispute between the employer and unionized employee is the direct negotiation. So what is the direct negotiation? Direct negotiation is a dispute resolution method whereby the two parties involved are willing to come together for discussion until a satisfactory compromise had been reached or concluded. So in the direct negotiation, the agency that are involved are the employer and employee. Direct negotiation did not include the involvement of the third party, and it also different kind of method between the conciliation and arbitration, which is need the third party to resolve the dispute that occur between the employer and employee. So for the provision of the direct negotiation is not stated in the Industrial Relations Act, but it was implicitly recognized in the Industrial Relations Act. The direct negotiation also is a mature and harmonious way to resolve the dispute. It is be said as the mature and harmonious way because it can do a negotiation and resolve their problem just by the agreement between the employer and employee to approach the win-win situation between the interest of employer and employee. So it is also the quick, cheap and very effective way for settlement without third-party involvement, because direct negotiation did not have to wait the conciliator to do to find a solution to resolve their problem. The direct negotiation is the method where the employer and employee find the solution by discussion they had been had together. So what is the benefit of the direct negotiation? The benefit of direct negotiation is it can solve the problem between two parties, and it do not have involvement of the third party, and it also cheap and very efficient way to settlement of the dispute between the employer and employee, and the outcome is more likely to be final settlement of the conflict than the settlement reached by the third party interference and involvement. So for the application of the project title that we get is the procedure of the dispute resolution between employer and unionized employee. So as the conclusion, the Industrial Relations Act 1967 recognized many of the procedures such as conciliation, fact-finding, arbitration, and direct negotiation. As we know, the conciliation is the method of getting a trade dispute resolved with the intervention of a neutral third party, and the other method which is fact-finding, which is the investigation and inquiry undertaken by government authority on any matter related to the dispute, and also in order to the settlement of the dispute, we also can use the arbitration and direct negotiation to resolve the dispute that occur between the employer and unionized employee. So the procedure and method of this dispute resolution can be used to resolve the problem between the employer and unionized employee. This procedure is very important to settlement of the dispute between the employer and unionized employee to create harmonious relationship between the employer and the employee.